So, what's up, guys? Today, I'm gonna be doing a little video response, if you will, to I Plunge Survivor's Zombie Survival Guide. Hope you guys enjoy a little bit of chivalry, medieval warfare in the background. And, so, I noticed Tone was talking about going to Walmart. I have numerous plans for the zombie apocalypse, and this is I'm gonna share one. Now obviously, when the apocalypse starts, it depends upon how soon in the beginning you're aware of it. Like, if you see patient 0 infecting someone else, then obviously that's the start. You got plenty of time to go about your businesses, and whatever you need to get in order before you can get out of Dodge and get somewhere you can fortify and, you know, whatnot. However, you know, there's also the variable of how large in population the place you live in. Personally, I live in one of the most populated cities in America, so yeah, that's a little bit of an issue for me. So, however, assuming that I'm sort of counting, you know, maybe there's 20 zombies by now, probably more than that, anywhere in the range of 20 to 100, somewhere like that, by the time I discover the zombie apocalypse. About 9 months out of the year, my grandparents keep their RV at our house, and that thing's got, you know, twin diesel engines with turbo on both of them. So, you know, there's always that biofuel opportunity. Can transport a lot of stuff with it. You know, we also have a nice large diesel truck here as well, because diesel vehicles in the apocalypse are the way to go. Obviously, because gasoline's gonna run out, but you can run a diesel truck off of a lot of alternative fuels. So, and then if it's more than a 20 range of zombies, I'll have a little bit of time to go to Costco or Walmart, or, I mean, some places in the city, they won't even be aware of the fact that there's an apocalypse going on, so, you know, you can just casually walk in and buy some guns and some, you know, whatever you need. And then, you know, obviously, this early on in the apocalypse, most people are like, oh, the power's up, the cell towers are down. Not really. I mean, realistically, I'll have time to make quite a few phone calls before everyone, you know, the cell towers go down and I lose service, you know, all cell reception, and the world goes dark. So, you know, I would call a whole slew of people, and then we'd pick a meeting point, and probably some, you know, freeway or highway or something in the middle of the desert, and meet up there, and we'd go from there. I've got a list in the order of which people need to be picked up from the city I'm currently in rank of importance to myself and the ability to survive on their own. So that's important. If you're gonna be picking people up for the zombie apocalypse, if you're not going off by yourself, you gotta order them. Otherwise, you know, you might not get to all of them. So there may be, you know, you may want to go get your girlfriend, and you really want to, because obviously she's your girlfriend, but, you know, she might be the first you pick up because she's your girlfriend, but think about the way it is, she might not be able to help you too much with the sheer survival aspect of it. I'm not saying ditch her, no. I'm just saying you gotta prioritize your pickup list. Also, by how close they are to your location. That's a good one as well. But anyways, once you're out, go out of the city. You want to get out of highly populated areas, especially densely populated areas. You know, it's not as bad when it's a widespread population, but when they're dense, it gets ugly. And then from there, once you all meet up, you know, I've got connections in SWAT team and whatnot, so I'm gonna have plenty of firearms, plenty of heavy-duty trucks and things to drive around on. From there, it's really a matter of circumstance, really. I mean, how fast is the infection spreading, this or that? How's the government responded? Is the world even aware of it yet? You know, and if the answer to the world is aware of it, and assuming the government doesn't act intelligently about how to handle this, which, come on, in all honesty, they're not going to react intelligently to a zombie outbreak. I don't see it happening. So you obviously, there's two major options. You can go, in my mind, you can go to an island and make sure you clear it quarantine it, lock it down, close the airport, make sure no one can get in without first being quarantined to make sure, and that means separation from everyone individually for a week at least, so that they don't turn, once they're on the island, and infect your quarantine zone. That's one way to do it. Or another one would to commandeer a cruise ship or a naval vessel or something like that, a large ship that you can anchor off the coast far enough away where, unless the zombies can swim and climb up the sides of boats, I'm not even sure you can climb up the side of. They'd have to, use the anchor chain, and then they're bottlenecked anyways. But I highly doubt they'll be able to make their way to this boat. You routinely make supply runs, whatever, If you need to move, you're on a mobile unit, whatever. You can use ferries or whatnot to get vehicles across. If you manage to commandeer yourself an aircraft carrier, then you can use the hovercrafts and whatnot that are on there to transport large sums of material. It doesn't really matter when you think about it. But this is assuming total government collapse, and obviously, like I said before, I live in the U.S., so it's a little different for people out there, in foreign countries for me. Assuming the military's collapsed, which is something I've always been kind of sketchy about on zombie movies, games, storylines, whatever, is that somehow I find it hard to believe that the military would be overrun. I guess that all depends upon how the president reacts. Because if he wants them to go in and try and lock down the major cities, yeah, it's kind of a bad idea. The cities might be fine in 6 months' time. The zombies will either have moved on or starved. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to pause for a moment, take care of some stuff. So, where was I? I was talking about, military trying to hold cities. Obviously, your bigger cities are kind of, they're gonna try, no matter what, there's going to be an attempt to protect Washington, D.C. I'm seeing this as a waste of military power, but, they're gonna try and protect major cities. Zombie apocalypse starts, you'll either be successful at wiping it out immediately, or you'll get overrun. There's really no in-between. And that's why islands are great quarantines, because you can force them to go through quarantines before they get on the island. Or, like Hawaii, for instance, you can use smaller islands of Hawaii for quarantine zones or things like that. But like I was saying earlier, the cruise vessel or naval warship, whatever, that's a great idea. Or the island, the whole being away from the mainland. But if you're stuck on the mainland, you make sure you get to a rural area, set up tons of booby traps and things to alert you, early responses, things like that. But if you do have time when you're in a city or whatever, make sure you pick up, generator, definitely, as much gasoline as you can, canned goods, non-perishable foods, things like that. Yeah. And this is not my best explanation of this plan before sometimes. I put a lot of thought into this. It's kind of crazy. All that good supply and whatever. And you want to make sure your group has some form of order. So as soon as you are all together and headed in a direction, or even when you're all together and you're trying to decide where to go, you should, assuming all of you know each other before the outbreak happened, elect a leader, a president, if you will, because there will be conflict of decisions, and you should have some form of organization in your scheme of survival. And and once you get to a certain point, whether you've locked down a farm, you got razor wire with tin cans hooked up to it and make noise, you name it, get ready, whatever it may be, and you get to a point where you can stop surviving and start thriving. And that's when, you start focusing on creature comforts, like hot showers, good cooking, all that kind of, all the stuff that we're used to, right now, as, first world problems. And once you got your creature comforts, at that point, there really is no apocalypse anymore for you. Once you've reached a certain point in survival, it's not that really that big of a deal. Occasionally, a few zombies will wander into your camp, and you go just pop their heads off with some guns, or booby trap will get them, whatever it may be, whether you went the cruise ship or the war vessel route, or the island, or the farm, or whatever it may be, or even just cabin in the woods or something like that. On a small lake where there's maybe an island in the middle of the lake or something like that. All of those are good. Boats are fantastic. Being on the water, and honestly, it's usually safer to be on a large boat on the water rather than go to an island, because of the possibility that the islanders are already infected due to air traffic, people flying to visit relatives or trying to get away themselves. Those are usually kind of heavily infected areas after the outbreak starts, or like when certain government functions are still, or businesses are even still functioning at that point. So really, I mean, at this point, that's it. That's about the end of it. Just you can start working on whatever you want to work. You can go back and start trying to rebuild things, check cities, see how everything is. And this is just one of my plans. It's not really been expertly told. I've explained it better, but I'm still it's a lot easier to explain a plan like that when people are asking questions. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the random chivalry medieval warfare gameplay in the back. And yeah, one last comment. Pwn, I don't know how heavily populated the city you live in, but Walmart, really? Really, Walmart? I mean, I get the idea, it makes sense, but you really are going to have to shoot a lot of people that aren't zombies, because there will be people flooding to the Walmarts. Also, yeah, Costco's kind of a little bit better in some cases, but you did mention that your Walmart has guns, and I don't know, a lot of Costco's don't really have guns, so, but that's one of the major stops as well, is Costco, because they have everything in bulk there, or, Sam's Club, or just your general bulk goods. So yeah, make sure you've got plenty of non-perishables, lots of gas to move around, secure a location, preferably on the water. That's about the gist of it. And then, quiet, silence. You've got to be, first off, before you get your place fortified, and probably when your place is fortified, it's a good idea to use, whether it's, crossbow, bow and arrow, even if you have a suppressed weapon, but guns are loud. Noise attracts zombies. And when there's not a lot of other noise going on in the world, because everybody's gone, and all it is zombies grumbling about, noise is going to travel a lot further, and the zombies are going to be able to hear it better. This has been a really long video response, and I don't blame you if you haven't watched all the way to this point, but I kind of wanted to share one of my stories. I think this is plan, C for the zombie apocalypse. I didn't go in too much of depth, because obviously a lot of it is scenario based, and that would take me like an hour to explain it all. Also, that would require knowledge of who my friends are, where exactly they live, all of that kind of stuff, and it's not really worth it. But I hope you took an enjoying, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Hope you liked the video response, and my plan C is what I'm gonna go with. The first plan I've ever posted on YouTube for the zombie apocalypse. And yeah, thank you guys.